have a fun educational video and it's all about cakey face makeup. You know what is funny? This morning, I actually had a bit of the cakey face problem when I came to work this morning. You know, you're doing the eye concealer. I have eye bags on fleek this morning, and I look in the mirror, I was like, oh, I have cakey face, and that's what I'm taping about today. I'm like, I should have just come on camera and be like, this is what you don't do. But sometimes it happens, and there's different reasons why you're getting that cakey face, where your face looks very like thick. You can see all of the layers of makeup going on. You can get a little heavy-handed, but there's different reasons why you're getting that cakey face. So I'm going to show you what they are and how to fix them. Okay, so number one reason why you're getting the cakey face, and this is my personal reason this morning, is you're applying too much concealer or foundation. So for me, what happens sometimes is because my eye bags, my dark circles can get really, really dark some mornings. I have like different health issues where I can get really, really dark circles. So I put lots of concealer on to hide it. Sometimes you could go a little bit too far and apply too much. So what the solution is, obviously this morning I wiped it off because I was like, you know what? I went too far this morning, put too much concealer on. Let me start that again. But what the solution is, you guys, is to use a super pigmented, more full coverage foundation and or concealer. Because what happens is if you have a concealer foundation that's like medium or light coverage, it doesn't quite hide what you're trying to cover, and you keep putting layer after layer after layer on, and by the time you're done, it's this thick layer of foundation. So one fix for that is to get a full coverage foundation. One of my favorite ones is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. It has been my favorite for years and years. Another one is the Makeup Forever HD. Now, a lot of people are like, wait, full coverage foundation, won't that make you look cakey? No, it won't, if you apply one thin layer. So it makes sense to apply one thin layer of a full coverage foundation versus multiple layers of a light to medium coverage foundation. So get a full coverage foundation and or concealer. And how you're going to apply it, you guys, is you can take a beauty blender or a stippling brush, and you're literally going to pat it all over your face, and this is going to give you more of that airbrush smooth finish instead of building up and looking really thick and cakey, because you're doing a thin, even layer and you're just stippling it on with that sponge or that brush. Another solution is if you're using concealer, so say you have a blemish, you woke up in the morning, it's been a stressful week, hello, there's a pimple. So you generally put a lot of concealer on because you're like, oh no, we are getting rid of this, and you start patting it on layer after layer after layer, and then at the end, instead of you having a pimple on your face, now you have this thick layer of cake. So what you want to do, same thing, is you're going to get that really thick coverage concealer, but you're going to just put it on the area, and you're going to put one layer super pigmented and then blend it around the sides. You're going to take your finger or a sponge and go around the edges of that blemish to smooth it out and thin it around the edges so it blends more into your skin, looking more natural. Reason number two you are cakey is your foundation itself is too thick. If your foundation gets older, if it's more than a year or two old, it can start to actually change consistency. It will start to thicken up, it will dry up a little bit, and that's how you know that it's old. You need to dump it out, and sometimes that thick foundation doesn't spread evenly, and so it starts stacking up on your skin, making it look cakey. So one solution for that is to figure out when you bought your foundation. If it's over a year old, toss it out. You don't need it. You need to get a new one. Or if it's not a year old, but for whatever reason the texture is just too thick for you, you can take some face oil, and you can get them at any skincare section of Sephora or the drugstore. They have lots of face oils you can choose from. Take 1 or 2 drops, put it into your foundation. You're then going to shake it up like this to thin out the consistency, and that will make it to where it's not so thick and cakey looking. Reason number 3 you are cakey is because you applied too much powder. I am guilty of this as well. I'm not going to lie. During the summer months, I get really oily, and throughout the day it starts to get shiny, so I start packing powder on after powder, and by 5 o'clock I look in the mirror, I get in the car, I'm like, oh, I look cakey. So one solution for that is to, instead of packing on extra powder, especially if you have oily skin, get a mattifying primer. I love the Makeup Forever one. It's a great mattifying primer. Before you put on your foundation, you're going to apply this primer, and what it's going to do is create a barrier between your skin and the foundation and your powder, which keeps it from breaking down throughout the day, making it separate, making you look even more oily. So definitely use a mattifying primer. Another solution is to take your powder and apply it with a flat, thin sponge. Now, I know a lot of people are against this as well. They say, no, you got to use, a brush or whatever. So let me show you guys what happens. So say you're using, everyone has the big fluffy brush in their collection. You pick up your powder, whether it be pressed or loose, you're packing it on. What's happening are the bristles on the powder are, for one, when you're putting it on, especially if you're dusting it, it's picking up some of the foundation that's on your skin. It's mixing it with the powder. Now it's creating a cake-like texture because instead of it being foundation settled and then the powder just sitting on top just to set it down, you're now kind of mixing the two, creating that kind of cakey batter, and it starts picking it up, clumping, and it gives you that cakey appearance. So what I like to do is take a flat, thin sponge, pick up your powder, whether loose or pressed, and you're literally going to gently just press it into your skin. Only apply powder where you are oily. If you are not oily all over your face, don't put powder all around the edges. Only put it generally in your T-zone, so your forehead, nose, chin, and over the sides of your nose. That's generally where we get the most oils, in the center of our face. So focus the powder there, and then once you start patting it in the center, you can gently blend it around the edges, but most of that powder is going to be at the center of your face, and just press it on top. Don't swipe it, don't mix it, just gently press it. Another solution for the thick powder, once you put it on and you realize, uh-oh, it's too late, I already look cakey, and you don't want to have to wipe off your makeup and start over, what you can do is get a misting spray like the MAC Fix Plus, and after you put the powder on, you see it's cakey, you mist it all over your face, and what it's going to do is pretty much bring moisture and hydration back in. It's going to sit on top of the powder and make it to where it doesn't look so dry, and it's going to help it melt into your skin a little bit more, getting rid of that cakey appearance. The fourth and final reason why your skin looks cakey is it may be dry. You may be dehydrated, or your skin just needs extra moisture. One tip for that is to stay hydrated. Drink lots of water the night before. What I like to do, my solution is the night before bed, because my skin can get dry sometimes, is I use a really intense moisturizing mask, and I let that sit for about 10-15 minutes, wash it off, put a really intense moisturizer on, something that will say for dry skin, and I put that on my face. I sleep in it overnight, and letting that sit and soak into my skin. When I wake up in the morning, my skin, you guys, looks so fresh. It looks plump, it looks dewy. Just putting that great intense moisture at night is the best time, because then it can kind of like cook on your skin throughout the night while you sleep. I know that we're doing lots of baking references in this video apparently, but definitely hydrate your skin the night before, and that will help your face be less dry and less cakey. So I hope that gives you guys some great tips on how to get rid of your cakey face. Don't forget to go to makeupgeek.com for more tips on your makeup. But thanks to you guys for watching. I hope you have fun with all of your makeup, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.